Namaste, friends. Welcome back. You remember we had done one video last time where we talked about karmic repercussions and how to be detached. I had asked this question, it was question of the week, and I had some amazing responses. And I'm so glad that there are people who actually know how to, how we can actually keep ourselves detached from any act that we do where we have a certain amount of i-ness gets attached to it. In fact, all of our acts, there is a huge load of i-ness that we have. I have done this, I have this is my experience, this is my work, this is my creativity, this is my clothes, this is my house, my car, my sadhana, all of that. Okay, so I had some great discussions. I put my video link also on Twitter, so I get a lot of traction on Twitter. So uh, I got some great responses, and I have through this video I want to specially thank Mehul, who kind of articulated this very well, and he actually gave us a very beautiful response, and which is the correct answer. And that is that we all know and we all do it actually, of this act of detachment. But we tend to do that, especially when we are performing a puja. Just remember any puja which is happening at your place, and once you are done with the puja, say for example now Ganpati festival is going to happen, okay, in September. Now once you are done with your Ganpati puja, then at the end what happens is that we the pujari or the panditji who comes to your place, or if you are performing the puja, what you do is you say Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Or there is even Arti, in Maharashtrians, when they do the Ganpati Puja, they have the Arti, the last Arti, which is it has, everything is finally given to the Lord Almighty, or Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. There are many people who uses other ishtas, like for example, Sarvam Shiva Arpanamastu, or Devi Arpanamastu, Durga Arpanamastu, and so on and so forth, and Ganpati Arpanamastu as well. What you are actually doing is the act of the act of the puja is not done by me, and even if it is done by me, the whole thing, the result of this act, let it be given to the at the feet of the god. Okay, and so that is Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu, because in Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna says to us that don't be bothered about the result of the act. You give me, you dedicate this act to me, and I will take care of the results. He says that. Okay, so all the act. So say for example, I have taught some spiritual practices to certain people. They don't do that, or so my fear was that, or rather the question that I had earlier asked was that in case I have given a spiritual practice to somebody and the person doesn't tend to do it, then will there be a karmic repercussions on me? The whole idea was to keep yourselves detached from the i-ness for it. That was the next step. Now how do you get yourself detached? Mehul has the answer to saying that, saying that Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu, or God Arpanamastu, or whichever deity that we are talking about, Arpanamastu. Now, this is very beautiful. Having said, do we really tend to do that? We do that during our homas and pujas and all of that, but are we doing that on all the acts that we are doing? Say for example, I have a business pitch tomorrow. I will have a set of client team. I will do I've done the great presentation, and now I'm worried. Will I win the account? Now, have I given this act also to Shri Krishna, or to my deity, or to my Ishta? Because as soon as I remove my I-ness from it, I am free of its results, whatever happens. And at the end of it, if I am consecrating that act to my God, my Ishta, my Guru, then in that case, whatever is the result, he or she will take care of it. Okay, and I'm sure the result will always, which has been taken care of, which may not be to your liking, but it is the right way, because what you have now done is the one whom you most trust, which is God, you have given this act or the result of this act to him or her. Now, one more thing, which was discussed was, why keep yourself just away and from all this, and not get into ego boosting. All of these are good philosophically, but like as Ria, one of my friends, she said that it should not make you less make you have less empathy, which means that you might want to steer clearly away from a lot of these people who would probably start taking advantage of you, or have taken advantage of you, disadvantage of you. Then uh, what you do is you tend to become bitter. So what happens is that once you tend to become bitter, then you lose your empathy towards that, towards doing that act. She is very, very right. So while maintaining empathy yet keeping yourself detached, how do you go about it? Is Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. And how do you, but just by saying Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu, you have to now inculcate Shri Krishna Arpanamastu in all your daily things, not just in puja, not just in spiritual practices, but also all the important or non-important ways of experiences that you have during the day. Okay, the best way to actually do is sit in a ritual. Why ritual? Ritual tends to make it a habit, and once it forms a habit, it becomes your second nature, and it goes on to create your samskaras and vasanas in your mind, the vasanas and samskaras in your mind, which again becomes your mother load of karma. So it is very important, therefore, to do it ritualistically. I have promised myself, after asking this question, while I used to, do Sri Krishna Arpanamastu, is now actually sit in the act of doing the Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Take a pot of consecrated water, take your spoon, which you use for your spiritual practices, sit down, think throughout the day, what are the things that could probably have brought your i-ness, or even, even if you had a mundane day, sit, focus for 5 minutes, think about all of that, and pour water over it. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. One more thing that I had learned, and which I have started practicing, is earthing. It's very important. Okay, now earthing is basically, it actually takes care of your energy. So I'm sure you all know human beings are basically transmitter receivers in flesh and blood. So we have the tend to accept energies. We have the nature of disseminating energies, right? So every act is also an energy created, dissipated, so on and so forth. So any energy that is created, which you think is a good, because of the good act that you have done, let it be transmitted to the earth. Okay, let Mother Earth be blessed. Just retain a little bit of energy within yourself, which could be good for yourself. Rest, let it be disseminated to Mother Earth. Let all the creatures on Mother Earth be blessed by this act, this energy that was created through this method. It is such a beautiful way of taking care of your i-ness, is where you are actually blessing all the sentient beings on earth, and you can do it with a very beautiful physical practice, which at this point of time I will not be able to show it to you on the video, but someday I will take a workshop on it, is how to mm, disseminate the energy through a proper earthing and rooting method. So I hope now that particular question is answered. Having said, yes, there is always a having said in all my videos, but yes, you, because there is not always a absolute answer to everything, right? We also have very strong karmic relations with certain people. There are rinano bandhanas which goes for eons, for ages, for lifetimes, and there could be certain situations where you have done a good act with certain people, you have maintained a fantastic relation with that person, or yeah, generally it is somebody with whom you have a relation, and that person, you have done some good for that person, but what has spiritually good also. I'm talking about spiritual good over here. I am not here to discuss our daily problems, not, not an agony aunt, but I'm just saying that when you have your, even if you have done a very good spiritual act, you had a spiritual relationship with certain people, and that also goes sour. That is the time when you know that this is a certain complex rina being compensated, balanced, and so on and so forth. Again, you have no knowledge or expertise, at least I don't have the knowledge and the expertise to say whether this is completely gone or not, or completely this karmic relationship is over or not. For all you know, that person and those incidents, those experiences again may come back, but not now. The time for that is over and it is gone. Now, these could be all painful things because there are these are all karmic repercussions which also happen. Again, the best way for everything, and सब ताले की एक चाबी, और जो रामबाण उपाय हम लोग कहते हैं ना, it is something like that, is pour water over it, okay, and let Shri Krishna or the deity whom you love, okay, or your ishta, take care of it, okay. So as soon as you start attaching your I to a lot of things, I have realized one thing: forget all the karma and all that for a moment. I gives you a lot of trouble as such also.